When the ego dies, the soul awakens. It's a very famous saying by none other than Mahatma Gandhi. And we are going to touch upon this topic today. But what about ego? We're basically going to touch upon the male ego. Now, why am I calling it ego and why am I calling about the male ego is a question which came across to us. And that's what we're going to delve on today. Now, invariably, Geetu, what happens is that sometimes, especially in modern India, in the urban setup, both husband and wife are working. You need to keep the kitchen fires going, or to support, or like how today it is, with the uncertainty. But there are times today where women are also, they've broken the glass ceiling, and therefore they're also peaking in their careers. Sometimes the male may be left behind a bit. Now, does that make it uncomfortable in a relationship? Does it make the man uncomfortable? Does the ego come in? Does it strain the relationship? How does the dynamics work? And sometimes it also happens that you find that a woman is sometimes a little apologetic about being successful.
Actually hides it.
Correct. So, and has to underplay it at times just to keep the sanctity of the home going. So, how does one work around this? Because this is not going to go away anytime soon, because let's face it, today more and more couples are working, they are going to be, and there will be times where maybe the lady of the house could be the breadwinner as well. So how does one work around a situation like this?
So what was the quote that you used?
When the ego dies, the soul awakens.
Isn't that enough, guys, to just work on this male ego? No, having said that, I think it's such a beautiful quote from Mahatma Gandhi. The thing is, Vivek, that in urban India, it is definitely changing. So I don't think that we can say that it isn't. I think every generation of the male child, since we are calling this male ego, every generation of the male child that is being brought up is hopefully being brought up with a lot more sensitivity. Like, I know my generation, our generation, we are bringing up our sons very, very differently, right? Having said that, I think it's so sad that we have actually made a man identify only with this provider side of him, right? It's very sad. Now, the thing is, we can either wait for the society to change and re-tag the male or men, or we can just do it in a small way in our own families. But you're right, Vivek, the thing is that generally, and now we are speaking generally, it is very sad, even the fact that when a girl child, like when you're going to get married, and if the girl is really successful and doing well, the parents will always say, "Arey, you don't do so well because you may not get a guy who will earn more than you." So you understand, it is so subtle, it is so subliminal that it's constantly just put into you that compromise. Now today, I also think it's become also a lot of problem in relationships, right? So this conditioning, of this men having to do better than women, etc., it's actually very sad, because I am a woman. Imagine if I have to compromise on my own potential to keep peace at home. Why? So that my husband doesn't feel bad. That by itself is just something that really makes me uncomfortable, right? Having said that, it's also something that I think in the modern environment, it's amazing that there is so much that is being spoken about, like Hollywood, Bollywood is talking about equal pay. So I think it's only a matter of time, Vivek, before this conditioning is going to break. Now, coming to how it affects the relationship is what you've said, is that now if I turn the table, and I said, okay, I choose to live my potential. I may earn a lot more. I think the tricky part is that since so many years, the person who brings home the money has a lot of power associated with them, right?
Yeah.
So it's like about if you're a provider, and because you're providing, I'm going to be subdued because you're taking care of me. And the interesting part for women is going to be, you have a chance to live your potential and earn more. Are you going to handle that in a similar manner?
That's perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
That if you then say, okay, so I'm earning more than you, and if you're going to make your spouse, your partner feel that about it, then you're creating the insecurity, right? So now identifying, because that is what I want to say again, that it's not about not living your potential or earning more or doing well. That is not the problem. The problem is when you do that, are you then also saying, I am more powerful than you?
It's a delicate balance.
Yes.
It's like they say, that the true test of a person is not when they're down and out, but when they're really successful, because that's a very heady feeling.
Yes.
So, what I get from what you're saying is, it's a two-way street. Because one, the men are carrying the burden that you're a provider. So the pressure on them has got so deeply rooted that if that balance moves, somewhere in favor of the woman, suddenly the insecurity creeps in. So it's not so much as an ego, I'm assuming, it's more that insecurity or feeling short or not feeling adequate. I think for a man to go through that whole feeling of maybe I'm not adequate enough. For the woman, on the other hand, because it's like it's my time now, because I am now today racing ahead or I'm doing so much more better, it can shift. So are you saying that both have to somewhere come?
Of course both have to come. Tali do hi haath se bajegi. It cannot. Chutki ek haath se bajte hai, but it's then your lonely journey. But the thing is also, Vivek, it's also a very good time for the men to kind of introspect, because see, this, if your spouse has not behaved with power when he was earning more, then the woman will not have the need to behave with power to say, you behaved like this with me, now come, I'll show you, right? So it happened with me actually, and it was so amazing because when we were in Hong Kong, Debu got a job there, and then I got a job there, and I was actually earning more than Debu. And I was wondering, because I said, oh, now I'm earning more than Debu. But it was delightful to see how proud Debu was, how he actually called everybody and said that, my God, it's incredible how well she's doing. She's even earning more than me. Because you know what, that power, it's not the power. If you believe you're a team and you're a unit, then you're not going to have this. It's so sad if you're going to compete with each other when you can actually team up.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then say, wow, now we are so much stronger. And then, so when I decided to take a break and I said, okay, I'm going to have a child and I'm not going to work now, there was nothing, okay, because by then, I knew my capacity to work. It was a choice made. So, I think this whole conventional idea of, dependability, I'm financially dependent on you. Yeah, kahan se? Why are today women telling their daughters always be financially dependent? Because you know what? Women have gone through this. Men have treated them like that. Mother-in-laws have treated them like that. We have come to a place where, our country, like even now, the male child, what is the connection? Right? Today, when daughters are saying, I will take care of the parents, then there is so much pride. So this is also, for me, this is about how are you, and it's actually quite universal, that when you're in a place of authority, the most humbling thing to do is to actually figure out how are you going to utilize that power. So if you do have this problem, then, you actually have this conversation that, you know, okay, I'm going to earn more. Is there something in your mind that is making you uncomfortable? Now that's a constructive. So then when the guy says, okay, you know what, I don't know how people will look at me, how my family will look at me, then it will be your choice to say, okay, you know what, it is going to help us financially, and then you please take your call. I'm not saying this is the right or wrong thing to do, but then you can decide that, okay, I may then say that I won't share it with your family, but it's still a decision together. You're still coming together as a team. You're not having this angst against each other. You know, and it's about time, yeah, that women lift their potential unapologetically and not be brought down by something. And it's sad because it's just you know, it's a such deep rooted conditioning.
So, you know, my wife is a doctor and I'm just a lowly, postgraduate. So people assume that I'm a doctor too over there. But for me, it honestly didn't strike.
Correct.
And it's an assisted marriage. So it didn't even strike, that she's a doctor or it's just that, okay, we're both educated, coming from educated families. So yeah, I guess what we're really trying to get at is that it's entirely up to you and how secure you are in your relationship. And it's actually, from what you're telling me, it's so personal between the
Yes.
two people involved,
Yes.
you know.
And the security is built together. It is not built in isolation. You make each other secure. So it's a team.
I hope that gives a lot of us a lot of things to ponder on, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys feel about this episode in particular. I'm
Yes.
really keen to know
Yes.
your views. So do like, share, subscribe to our channel and drop in your comments. This is Vivek Kapoor.
And this is Geetu Purkayastha saying that the male ego, we have just brought out one facet of earning, but it's in many things in our lives. So if you ponder, like Vivek said, in the other aspects, this could be the stepping stone to discovering something else.
Thank you so much for listening to us, and we are signing off from coupletales.life, the colorful shades of grey.
See ya.